And we're live. I'm curious on Taylor's opinion on this.
Oh.
Uber says they might have to shut down in California. And I'm interested because Taylor's very much a capitalist, but he's also not so much like, I don't know. The guy has $160 billion. He generally thinks the guy probably has too much.
Oh, yeah.
And so here's the deal. Uber says they may have to stop doing California because California has decided that all those Uber drivers should be employees. Now, I have a little background in this employee versus contractor thing. There are federal laws, and many, many moons ago, I would help people decide whether their companies had employees or contractors because there's a risk there. You can't treat your contractors like employees or you're fucked.
Yeah.
Employees get some tax advantages. You know, you pay their half of Social Security, and typically you need to provide them with the company-wide benefits, things like health insurance, and I don't know, they get covered by comp and et cetera. So anyway, it's more expensive to have employees. There are all these costs associated with them, whereas contractors, what you pay is what you pay, and they handle their own costs. Cool. Things like, do they provide their own equipment? Do they get to choose their own hours? A contractor, you might give them a project and then they finish it on their own, sort of like however they decide to do it. You know, like I want a program that does this, get back to me in 4 days. Contractor can do it days, nights. They bring their own computer. Do you train them? You know, like if you train someone a lot, they're probably employees. California has a rule that was new to me. It's unique to California, where they say that if this contractor employee person is doing something that's like normal in this business or core to the business, then they are employees. So if these same people were writing programs, that's not really what Uber does. They'd be contractors. But no, they're driving the cars. That's the thing that Uber does in California, and only California. They can't be contractors. They need to start getting all the health insurance and who knows, employee stock purchase plan.
Like, we're going to have to get rid of pretty much all our drivers in California if they make us implement this. Is their claim?
Yes, they said they would shut down temporarily if a court decides to classify its drivers as employees. Now, I put my own projection on this. I could be wrong, that they mean shut down temporarily in California. But, yeah, Uber's like, we can't operate if you're going to make all these drivers employees.
I mean, I'm not educated enough to even know, but like on the one hand, I do understand, like, yeah, that's a big burden to make all of those Uber drivers suddenly employees. Like, that's undeniable. But also, like, you don't want these giant semi-monopolistic corporations tacitly threatening the government, saying, well, you do this and all that tax revenue is going to go away. You know what? Maybe we'll redouble our advertising efforts in Seattle, in Washington and Oregon, and try and regain some lost money. Like I don't like that about it. Like these huge companies threatening to leave if they can't dictate what they like. You see the Silicon Valley people do this all the time, where they'll have these like nonsense little tribunals where like 3 congressmen sitting there, each worth like $4 million, just like, Mr. Zuckerberg, you have to promise not to do this anymore. And Zuckerberg's like, oh, wow, really? Do you know how much your seat would cost to change? Your seat? Oh, is this what we're doing? We're going to pretend that I couldn't just change all of your districts if I wanted to on a whim with a billionth of my net worth. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. If I disobey, definitely come after. Like, you see that like dog and pony show too. Like, you don't like that. You like to see big business take advantage of it.
In Twitch, right? Generally, we're contractors. We provide our own equipment. We set our own hours. We do whatever we want to do. You know, they just provide like an infrastructure that we can work in. It's very similar to Uber. I never felt like a Twitch employee, like I'm staff at Twitch.
Yeah.
But if I was in California, they very well may say, well, this is kind of core to what Twitch does. They provide streaming content.
That makes sense too. And that would be tough for them because of all the huge streamers in California.
Yeah.
If they made that claim.
So I don't know. I saw it and I was just like, yeah, I feel like.
That's a really interesting take. I like that you said that because I never would have put those pieces together, because definitely if they can make the case for Uber, they can absolutely make the case that Twitch employees in California fall under that same banner. Definitely.
Yeah. And, you know, I also look at Twitch with the gig economy, right? In some ways, there's this concept of friction, right? They say, let's do imaginary Taylor. I don't know why I'm using your name. But Taylor, you got this job and it's okay for you and it's fine. But there's this other place you might work, right? Or this other career, whatever it is. And you'd be perfect for it. You would like it more. They would like you more. And the reason you're not there is friction. There's something about making it kind of hard for you to leave this job and enter that one. There's a process there, etc. And technology has lowered the friction. right? So Uber is one of the lowest friction things in the world. Like, I think I could get that job over the internet. Just tell them how new my car is and they'd hire me. And like, it's super simple.
You do it with your phone.
Okay.
There's nothing to that.
Yeah. So there's very little friction. And I thought that friction, like that reduction in friction would be good for people, right? They'd all start finding their way in the right places. The way it's worked out is it seems like it's good for employers. Like, you know, it like they could so easily get somebody else that you might not have the same value you did before, where it's like, replacing me is tricky. No, replacing you super easy. It's like the opposite of a union. Now there's no friction. And
I would be interested to know whose idea this was, because I bet it's some sort of taxi company lobby, right?
Oh.
It's some sort of livery service lobby who's tired of Uber taking all of their business away, and they're trying to change the rules so that they can compete.
That's possible. It's happened in Silicon Valley a lot, and where it happens is they say, hey, we've noticed there's this big batch of contractors who haven't been getting stock options all this time, but your company's exploded. So you really are due. Yeah, they haven't been compensating you like an employee, but they've been treating you like one. So let's sue them and get the last 10 years of pay that you would have had. And then, you know, there's 50,000 people in this class action suit, and they win. It happened. Microsoft has lost. I'm not sure about Cisco. Apple has lost before. IBM, I think, has lost. Anyway, so that's how it's come out in other cases. This one, I don't know. I don't think your theory is viable, I think. But it could have also just been a whole lot of drivers due to, like, get pieces of Uber stock gains.